Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, May 22nd, 2015, and welcome to another edition of eBay Talk, the only dedicated YouTube channel that discusses eBay happenings every Friday. Today's topics are going to be the following: negative feedback removal. That's going to be the main topic. We're also going to talk about getting signature confirmation on expensive items. We're also going to talk about a little bit about the upcoming eBay and PayPal split, and we're going to talk about some other issues that have concerned you guys. First, let's do a quick review of last week and what's been going on. Oh, and by the way, this is the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend, and today it's actually sunny. It's unusually cool right now. It's 58 degrees. It's going to go up to a high of almost 70 today. It should really be warmer than that, but I don't care how cold it is. I'm thankful for a sunny day. Hooray. First one this week. But anyway, to do the rehash first, this week I whacked out 4 videos, an all-time high for me. I really hope you guys got to see them all, because they're really all important. One was about duplicate listings on eBay, how you can run a quick search with a little handy dandy tool I showed you to come up with and see if you have any duplicate listings on eBay. The second video was a crazy driver on the Van Wyck. The third video was yesterday, Thursday, an interview with John Lawson, another eBay seller, and he's a very well-known motivational speaker. And of course, number 4 video is today. eBay sales this week, I would consider them average. They weren't booming, they weren't dead, they were steady. Okay, so I really don't have anything to complain about there. I did have one issue, but I'll get to that when we talk about the negative feedback removal. A couple of people have been asking me to discuss the eBay and PayPal split and what effect, if any, it would have on our sellers. At this point, I do not have all the information in, so I'm going to actually wait approximately 3 to 4 weeks to discuss that. Early on in the game, I don't think there's going to be a big impact on us. I really don't. But to play it safe, give me till like the end of June and beginning of July to check that out and report back, okay? One person wrote in the other day about how he got stung big time. What happened was this: he sold a laptop to somebody for a little over $1,000 in good working order. He shipped it to the guy. The tracking shows that it was delivered to his front porch, but the guy claims he never received it, and he opened the case. Now keep in mind, it says it was delivered to his front porch, not given to the homeowner or the guy's wife or whoever. There was no signature confirmation. Now I thought that was weird, because anytime I sell something over $250 and print out the label, the box is always pre-checked saying eBay requires signature confirmation. And I'm glad they do that. I fully support that, because you don't want to get dicked over on an expensive item. People should have to sign. So I asked the subscriber, I said, are you sure that you didn't get a prompt saying you are required to get delivery confirmation? And he told me that he doesn't print his labels at home. He does everything manually. You know, he writes out the address and then he goes to the post office. And he forgot to get the signature confirmation in this case. I said, listen, I said, no disrespect, but it's just worth it. Spend $100 and buy a printer at Best Buy, and this way you'll be protected for this kind of thing. Guys, it's very important, very important. If you're selling anything over $250, eBay requires, and rightfully, signature confirmation. There's a slight fee for it, sure, but it's well worth it. It's like insurance, guys. Please get signature confirmation on all your expensive items. All right? Now I think we'll jump into the main topic, which is going to be negative feedback removal. This is something we've talked about in the past, more than once, but I think it needs to be discussed again after what happened this week. As you know, I'm a top-rated seller with 100% feedback. No questions, no problems, no complaints. I've been that way for quite a long time. I don't get many problems, but the one thing that does crop up periodically, although it hasn't lately, is people will buy an item from me in a quantity auction, pay, get the item, and complain and say, Joe, I thought I was getting all 4 hubcaps, but you only sent me 1. When in fact the listing was for 1 only in a quantity auction, whereas they could have bought 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually each one runs around like $35 or $45 with free shipping. I don't know how, in God's name, a person can be that stupid, because there's no other word for it, and think they're getting 4, when the title leads off with the word 1. For instance, 1 genuine 1995 Pontiac hubcap. That's the title. Then the picture shows 1. The description of the item clearly states you are buying 1. However, you may purchase more than 1 if you want by changing the quantity in the quantity field. So, okay, this happens to me a little too often for my liking, but it hasn't happened recently. So, when it does happen, people will usually write to me through the eBay contact system and say, oh my God, I thought you were going to give me 4, not just 1. I'm returning this for a full refund. And when they do that, you know, I have no choice. I take 14-day returns. I have to accept the return. I don't like it, but I accept it. It's part of doing business. So what happened to me yesterday was something that's never happened to me before. I saw it on eBay, everything's fine, and maybe, I guess about an hour later, I go back onto eBay and I look at my feedback number and I see it's 1 less than it was earlier, and I almost had a heart attack on the spot. I said, Jesus Christ. So I click on it to see what happened, and sure enough, there's a neg from a buyer that says, and this is her exact words, it was supposed to be for 4 hubcaps, but you only sent me 1. And under the feedback is the name of the item, and it clearly says 1. I mean, how stupid and uneducated, man. So I was 99.9% sure it was going to be a slam dunk to get that removed. All right? So I called eBay, and I told them, I said, listen, somebody left me unfair feedback. I want it removed. So the lady looks at the information. She goes, okay, I can see it does say 1. Let me type up some notes. I can't remove the feedback myself, but I'm going to kick it up to escalations, and I'm going to connect you with them now. So she connects me with escalations instantly, no waiting. And the escalations lady looked at it and said, yes, you're definitely in the right, Joe. The auction says 1 hubcap, not 4. It's very clear. So we will remove this feedback for you at once. And that feedback was removed within 4 minutes. So guys, if you blinked, you missed it. But my point is this, guys, this is one thing I really do like about eBay. They will remove unfair negative feedback. Now, there's a lot of times people leave feedback unfairly that does not get removed. I'm not saying that's not the case. It could happen. For instance, a person could say, item not as described, and leave it at that, when the item was clearly as described. And then eBay will say, well, that's their opinion. You know, we're not removing it. And yes, that is something that needs to be looked at. And actually, there are some changes coming to the feedback system. All right? In the near future, I'll have more to report about that. Okay? But getting back to my situation, when they are just so blatantly stupid and write something like that that flies against the auction, the item listing itself, eBay will remove it. Coincidentally, my friend Gary called the other day, and he told me he got a feedback removed. What happened with him is he shipped something through the global shipping program, and the item got to Kentucky with no problem. It was then forwarded to the seller's country of residence, and the item never made it because the third-party contractor screwed up. So the buyer left Gary negative feedback, saying like item never received or whatever, and Gary called up eBay, and because it showed that it went to Kentucky and got there safely as described, they removed the feedback. There is another case of eBay protecting us. Okay, that's two instances. Sadly, as I said earlier, there are times when people abuse the feedback system. I don't dispute that. And the defect system, oh my God, that thing needs to be trashed. And like I said, the defect system and the feedback system are correlated together, and the winds of change tell me there will be some changes ahead. I don't know if they're going to benefit us or not. In the past, you know, what am I going to say? They haven't, okay? Especially that defect system. That is just folly. I don't really know of any sellers that like the defect system, you know? A lot of sellers don't even like the feedback system. It's tough, guys. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a cakewalk, it's a walk in the park. It's tough to stay a top-rated seller, all right? That's why a lot of people aren't. Okay, let's do a quick rehash now. I'm not going to keep you guys really long this week because I know it is the Memorial Day weekend and a lot of you guys have plans. And I do hope you have a really good weekend. Go out. I mean, if it's going to be sunny in your area, it'd be a good day to go out. Today and tomorrow are supposed to be nice. Sunday a little iffy. Monday they're saying cloudy with on and off showers. But I have a lot of work to do around the house, so I'm not worried. Don't worry, I'm not going to go to the movies alone in flip-flops. Never happened. But guys, to rehash, negative feedback removal. That's something I'd like to hear from you guys, especially in the comments section below. If you have been left any feedback that you feel is unfair, would you want to discuss it? Or if you've been lucky and had it removed, you might want to discuss that. I really think when people open these snag cases against us or say item not described, there needs to be an impartial panel to look at the item, listen to the buyer, listen to the seller, and make a determination. Let's face it, guys, the buyer's not always right, okay? As in my case. And I was lucky that this person was just so overtly stupid that they say it was supposed to be for 4, and he only sent me 1, and it clearly says 1. I mean, that's scary stupid. And you know, they could have contacted me. If they would have contacted me through the eBay message system, or contacted me directly at work, they would have said, hey, I thought I was getting all 4, but I only got 1. I'd say, fine, send it back. They just went right to that red dot. Unbelievable. But share your eBay stories, experiences, comments. And as always, guys, this is very important. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next Friday right here in this spot on the Crazy New York Driver Show. If you need any tutorials made, if you would like to see any special eBay topics addressed next week, comments below. I don't get to respond to the comments below usually because I just have so much going on. But I do read. I give you my word, I read every single comment. Occasionally I try and respond a little, but for the most part I don't respond to the comments in the box. That's your guys' free reign to say what you got to say. Thanks. See you next week. I'm Crazy New York Driver. Goodbye.